prepare yourself, because together, let's uncover and rediscover the hidden practitioner within inside you. You are the power you seek.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Okay, so this is the doc demo, right, Tara?
It is. Good morning, everybody.
And what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about the teeth, the jaw, and what can happen if you get loose teeth. Why is that happening?
Okay, so let's talk about that. So let's understand something perfectly clear. Okay, all right. I say this and it's like I'm making a joke, but I'm not really making a joke. It's not gum disease, it's bum disease. Mm-hmm. So understand something. You know, you got your front door, right? Oh, you think that what goes down at the back door doesn't affect the front door. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about how it might affect the front door.
Absolutely.
Okay, so, did you ever know anybody with bad breath? Did you ever have bad breath? Why don't we check and see if we have bad breath right now? Go like this. Go hot and go deep from your gut and go, and take a whiff of that. Whoa, we're talking roses.
Well,
okay.
You want to check it out because that's how you're going to wake up in the morning if you're sleeping with somebody.
That's right. And the reality is that we've all been here, right? We roll over and we go, "Good morning, honey."
And you're like, no.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. And that's basically because you needed to put that toothbrush up the other end. Mm-hmm. Okay. No, the reality is this, everyone, is whether we're talking about gum disease or whether we're talking about cancer, arthritis, eczema, psoriasis, colitis, whether we're talking about gout, whether we're talking about any autoimmune disease, you're always going to come back to the large intestine because it's the holy grail of
all healing.
Yeah, isn't that something?
It's amazing, but it's true. It really, pretty much any condition you can find in the body, it all comes back to the large intestine.
Yeah. So, when they say there's trouble down below,
you need to take care of it.
Yeah. So understand something. The large intestine, it has less pain fibers than any other organ because everybody considers it a garbage can, but it's not a garbage can. What it actually is, it's the compost of life. It's the garden of life. Mm-hmm. I mean, how good does a garden grow if it doesn't have any good bacteria left in the soil?
It doesn't. You need that compost. You need the good bacteria. You need the nutrients. And you need all that to go in to create awesome vegetables.
That's right.
For you, that means awesome tissues.
Yeah. And the reality is that we don't even know it, but most of society's systems are poisoning us.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely true.
Yeah. Take going to the dentist. I mean, 50% of silver amalgam, is mercury. Mm-hmm. Now, why in the hell would they put mercury in in your fillings of your teeth unless they wanted to kill you? Okay.
Well, and then when they're in your teeth, where does that metal go? But straight up to your brain, which super affects your whole life and causes all kinds of difficulties.
Yeah.
And neurodegenerative diseases.
Oh, and then try to go to a dentist and try to get the dental assistant to stop terrorizing you about putting fluoride in your children's mouth so that they can calcify your child's pineal gland.
Exactly. That's always a battle, but one I always take on.
Yeah. And you know what? It's like this. There's a genius in all of us, but if your beliefs are based on stupidity, then you might look that way. Okay? So the reality is you might think that I'm a little harsh sometimes, but guess what? I've had enough. Have you had enough yet? Have you had enough of just skirting around these so-called associations and systems that have all the power in the world and we're supposed to shake in our boots? Well, understand something. You keep shaking in your boots. You keep telling yourself that you don't have value and you can't stand up for your own rights. Understand something. What comes out of your mouth is just as important what goes in your mouth.
That's very true.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm talking about you need to understand that you need to speak up for yourself. Mm-hmm. You need to hold the line, okay? Because it's your life, okay? And I don't really care. I'm a specialist. I'm a professional. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. Tara, we train people all over the world that have never been in health before. And guess what? And you've been around long enough. Are they the best practitioners within 200 miles of anybody else? And I don't care how long you've went to school.
Absolutely. And the reason is because here we teach and focus on what's actually going on in the body, which comes back to that large intestine once again.
Yeah.
And you also, in our whole life coach classes, we really focus on the emotional component, finding out who you are, who your authentic self is, and standing up for yourself, loving yourself. And you come to realize that all these systems that are out there in the world are not out there for your highest benefit. That's your job.
Yeah.
You're there to take care of you, and you need to do that.
Yeah, and understand something. If you've got jaw problems and you've got teeth problems, you've got an emotional problem.
Always.
There's always an emotional problem behind it. You know, so there was issues in here before there was issues in the tissues.
It's always a non-digested, non-processed emotion that creates a physical condition. Invisible creating the physical.
And you can't continually live unconsciously, everyone.
No.
Go figure. And I do know that the majority of the population is only 2 to 5% in the present moment. So the reality is, if you don't learn how to honor and respect yourself and understand that almost every system out there is disrespecting you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you got to get this. And that is that every system that was ever created by the government is corrupt, because there's a government within a government that controls the government. And people who actually go into the government to think they're going to do a lot of great things never get to do any great things. They get to do a few things, right? But then after a while, if you want to stay in politics, you have to, you can't swim in a swamp and not get some of it on you.
Exactly.
In you.
In you, yeah.
In you. So anyways, this is not a political show, but the reality is you have to understand something. Wherever you go out there, you have to learn how to love and honor yourself and understand something, that people don't mean to dishonor you.
No.
Like, the dentist isn't trying to dishonor you.
No.
But he's been programmed just like everybody else. Okay, and his assistant who's trying to put a cancer-causing neurotoxin in your child's mouth, right? She thinks she's doing her job, but the reality is guess what? On this planet, we've been all taught poverty consciousness, and that money rules. So we'll end up, what do we end up doing? We'll end up doing things that we shouldn't be doing. And I'm not doing it. I will not be threatened, and I will not do anything that will harm, because I only have one rule in my life, and that's called do no harm. Do no harm to myself first and foremost, and I'll do no harm to anyone else.
Exactly.
Right? So, yeah. So remember something. Your practitioner, your doctor, your dentist can't give you what they haven't got. And they're only going to teach you what they've been taught. And the problem is that only 1 out of 10,000 practitioners are bloody well awake anyway. So that's not obvious. And I'm not trying to put people down, but the reality is, let them do what they want to do. But if you deserve better, why don't you seek out better?
You have to become what you want to be.
That's right.
And want to seek out.
Yeah. So are you willing to change your personality, to change your reality, which means it's not your personality. Remember something. If you're having a real tough time today, physically, emotionally, understand something. It's not your personality. Because your true, authentic personality is one that is totally wrapped up in unconditional love for oneself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if that's not what's showing up, you've been programmed.
So what's this got to do with teeth? What's this got to do with jaw? What's this got to do with any part of the body? Everything. Because the invisible creates the physical. But we're going to be talking to Carmen, aren't we?
Yeah, it's Carmen.
In a couple minutes here. So everybody, so just know this. I'll be doing these Doc Daily. If you'd like to learn things about certain situations, or if you are someone and you are frustrated, because guess what? The only people that will actually call me are people that are frustrated, because what people do is they do what everybody else is doing until there's almost nothing left to them. And then it's like, okay, let's give the quack a call. So anyways, that's cool. You know what? I think it's an honor being called a quack, a health nut, and everything else, because I never wanted to follow the herd. So that's okay. But let's just remember something, okay? The word quack actually came from when back in the 1900s, when medical doctors started trying to sell drugs, the population started calling them quacks. And then that got turned around, because whoever has the most money can turn the whole story around. So anyways, I am the Quack. Thank you for joining us. And just know this, that we'll be doing a lot of doc demo situations where we will be giving back the power to you. Let me tell you something. I need to give you back your total power. I need to not live in a poverty consciousness and think, oh my God, if we teach them how to look after themselves, how are we going to pay the mortgage?
Oh, that's true. How are we going to pay the mortgage, Daryl? No,
Oh,
I'm kidding. No, it's all about empowerment here. It's about putting your health care back in your own hands, and that means through self-care and self-love.
Yeah, self-love. Got to have some of that. Okay? Got to do it. Got to do it. You know what? Why don't you pleasure yourself today all day long? Why don't you just be nice to yourself for the first time in your life for one whole day? I bet you can't do it for an hour. I bet you can't.
Put yourself first.
Yeah.
How many people do that?
Yeah, really. And when you put yourself first, you'll be putting your family first. Because guess what? You can't give what you're not. And when you become that, you'll give it to everyone else in your family.
And you can't give, if I like to use the analogy of being a cup that's full. If you're full and overflowing, you can give to everybody else, like unlimited. If you're empty, what do you have to give?
Yeah. And how many people today feel like they're really empty?
Yeah, most people.
Or they're full of what they don't want.
Also.
BS.
And then you're sharing what
they're
you
full
are,
of BS.
which is
Dysfunctional
belief systems.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be sharing those.
Yeah. So let's lighten that load. Okay?
Absolutely. Let's
Right.
do it.
Let's do it. So understand something. So let's go back to the bowel. Then we'll bring Carmen on, and we'll talk about Carmen's situation. And so here's the situation here. You can't have infection anywhere in the body unless you have a leaky colon. I want you to think about that. So where does that waste come from? And I want you to think about this too. Hot air rises. You ever see a manure pile on a farm? Go. I used to dig for worms in there and maggots and stuff like that to go fishing, right? Those were the good old days. So you take the fork and you flip over the manure and you see all the gas come off. Well, excuse me. In a colon that is, in a colon that's stagnating, you're going to have putrefaction. You're going to have rotten. Okay, things are going to be rotting. And that's why we call the large intestine root rot. And there's not one person out there that's not suffering from it on some level, because you should be honoring that organ more than any other organ. And if you did that, the rest of the organs would be honoring you. Okay? So when you start to rot and putrefy, your good bacteria, which are the major part of your immune system, and your good bacteria talk to your good, or if they become bad, your bacteria in your large intestine talk to your brain 9 times, and your brain talks to your bacteria 1 time for every 9 times your bacteria talks to the brain. But guess what? When you're in a bad mood and you're talking to someone, are you talking nice? Are you talking and communicating with love? Well, bad bacteria don't do that. So what happens is that they get corrupted and they send wrong messages to the brain. But not just that. They give off a gas, okay? It's called endotoxin. That is really toxic, and you start taking it into your system, okay, and it poisons you, and you start taking little poop particles into your system. But guess what? What about that gas? You ever see a hot air balloon? It rises, right? Well, guess what? That gas rises into your mouth. So that's why we say it's bum disease, not gum disease. And when's the last time your dentist told you that, hey, if you had really good bowel movements, right? Okay, because it's not, you don't have bad breath, and you don't have gum disease, okay, because of something you ate yesterday, okay? You have it because of something you ate months ago that's rotting inside of you, because now you got to take a look at your diet. Got to get into a high vibrational whole plant-based diet. So understand, when we talk to Carmen, if Carmen doesn't want to clean up her diet, if she doesn't want to cleanse her bowel properly, like daily, we should be gently cleansing our bowel every day, having 2 to 3 bowel movements. And if she doesn't want to go on a whole plant-based diet where 80% of the weight volume is whole plant-based, fresh and raw, and bought local, because guess what? Trust no one, I'll tell you. Trust the farmer. The farmer. You need to go to the farmer.
And look them in the eye.
And look them in the eye. And right, and then you're going to say, hey, is this organic? And he'll go, listen, I can't afford the crazy nonsense that the government wants, $10,000 a year for me to go certified, but I have no pesticides, and I have no sprays, nothing. I do nothing. That is organic. So look for the farmer, that doesn't pay the $10,000, that doesn't have to jack you up, go straight to him. And if you start eating, you know what? Okay, so you're not going to like this. I haven't had a teeth cleaning in 30 years. When you eat a whole plant-based live diet, you don't need to do that. And when your bowels are moving, just think about this. Okay, when somebody farts, right? Do you know why you can smell it? Microscopic poop particles are flying in the air. Whether you like it or not, that's what's going down or up. So here's the deal. Okay? So those poop particles that when you fart, you're farting inside yourself. Whether you want to believe it or not, those poop particles come in here. Bad breath, those poop particles are in here. Where do you think all that plaque's coming from? And also, if you eat processed food, man-made food, it's got chemicals, sticky, glicky, colorings, chemicals in it. And if you're eating animal products, well, we know that animal products, if they're not free range and organic, they've got antibiotics. So now you're taking antibiotics every day if you're not eating free range and organic, right? And then you're wondering why you're antibiotic resistant. Well, are you drinking milk? Is the milk organic? If it's not, it's full of antibiotics.
Yeah.
And it's also full of, milk is full of so much crap. I don't even want to get into it, but you know what? I wrote an article called Scary Dairy when I was 30 years old, and I got sued for $250,000 by the Canadian Dairy Board. They never got a penny out of me, okay? Because the reality is the article was real and it was right. But back then, okay, that was like almost 35 years ago. It was like, yeah, you're going down, Daryl.
It's like basically sacrilege to say that dairy isn't good for you.
Yeah. Meanwhile, nobody can digest it. It's an inflammatory product for everyone, and it's putrid, and you couldn't give it to me. You couldn't force it down me, okay? There are things that I would take that way before that, but guess what? You'll eat whatever you're marketed, whatever gets marketed. And you know what? Your government gets paid off because they know that it is one of the most cancer-causing foods. I'll say to somebody, hey, do you eat dairy? Nope. Don't touch milk. Do you eat yogurt? Nope. Don't do yogurt. Just do cheese. People don't even know that cheese is dairy. That's how programmed we are. So understand, well, wait a minute. Why would cheese give you loose teeth? And why would it give you jaw problems? Well, because it's for one thing, it's one of the most inflammatory products you can do. And if you're inflamed here, you're going to be inflamed everywhere. And wherever your weak link is, that's where the inflammation goes. Because there's a physical block here. There's a dam, okay? And then that becomes a damn mess.
Absolutely.
Anyways, I just wanted to fill you in on that. Hey, Carmen, how you doing? Carmen? Hi, Carmen.
Because there's a physical block here. There's a dam.
Carmen?
Okay? And that becomes a
Hi, I'm here.
Please
Yes,
shut
I'm
off
listening.
your radio now or whatever. Okay?
I'm seeing Dr. Wolfe on Facebook.
No,
Can you turn off the
Facebook,
volume, please?
You've got to turn that off now.
Hi, I'm here.
Please shut off your radio now or whatever.
Okay, it's the Facebook. I will shut it off. Okay.
Drake, can you make sure that they stay on, but they don't turn on their Facebook anymore when we do these demos? Okay, make sure you make a note of that. Okay.
Yes.
Hi, Carmen.
Hi, Dr. Wolfe. Hello.
Okay, so how you doing, girl?
I'm very good, thank you. So excited for our meeting today. Thank you so much for having me.
I want to thank you for joining me. And listen, if you ever want to do a doc demo, Tara is our demo girl. So we showed how to work on calcium deposits in the breast the other day, didn't we?
We did.
Right. So we will show different parts of the body for you, or talk about different topics, won't we?
We will. Yes.
Yeah, and I promise she won't just lay there. Okay. Did you just lay there last time? You did, didn't you?
I think I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first two demos we did, I was just the body double stunt.
Well,
you know.
Is that what, did you have like a late night?
I didn't have a late night.
All right. Anyways, okay, let's get back to this. Okay, we'll talk about this later.
All right, sounds
Okay,
good.
right, okay. Anyways, so if you do decide you want to come on the show, you can use an alias name. You can wear a mustache, right?
You can.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we don't have to disclose your identity, and we can do it just like today, where we can hear Carmen's voice.
Yeah.
And it might not be her real name.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so feel free to contact. You can actually contact me, Tara at docofdetox.com, Tara at docofdetox.com, if you're interested in being on our show. And we will be in contact with you and see what we can schedule, because we'd love to bring what's going on for you, what's going on for real people out there, and broadcast it so that you can be a help to other people.
You know what? We need to give back. Right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We have so many people that that really help us out. They buy our products, and we got to give back.
Mm-hmm.
We got to give it.
We love giving back. That's what we're all about at Doc of Detox.
See if you can give. See if you can give more than you get. That'd be really great.
And if everyone does that,
Holy
what a
smokes.
world we'd have.
That's right.
So we're being the change we want to see.
Yeah, and you know what? Challenge us on this and see if we're making this up and just pretending that we're good guys. Okay, so Carmen, how old are you?
I'm 61.
61 years old. What's your weight?
I'm 185.
185. Okay, all right. So what's your height?
I'm 5'6".
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Are you married?
I'm a widow.
You're a widow.
I have two. Yeah, I have two children, two
How,
boys. Yeah.
how old are the boys?
One is 33 and the other one is 30.
Okay, so do they live with you?
The 30, yes.
Okay, all right. Okay. What's your diet like?
Okay, so to be honest, Dr. Wolf.
Oh my
I
God, she's going to be
started,
honest. You know what? Even when people say they're going to be honest, they lie. And you know the one thing.
No, I'm really me, and I'm really honest. I started to follow you 3 weeks ago, and since that time, I started the vegan diet. So I'm not having anything.
If you followed us,
yeah.
you're not doing a vegan diet.
You're doing whole plant-based diet.
Whole
that
plant.
is more like veggies and very little fruit. So I have to tell you that probably whatever is happening to me is because of my diet all my life. And
What was your diet like all your life? But let me ask you a question. How were you when you were a little girl? Were you full of anxiety and nervousness, and did you feel like you never fit in?
Not really anxiety and nervous, but I was hyperactive.
Okay, well that is anxiety and nervousness when you're a child. Hyperactive. That's what that is. That's how we display it.
Okay.
Okay.
So I was, yes.
And the reality is you got to understand something. Our families back then, they were pounding the sugar in by the pound, and the flour and the dairy. Okay, so if you were to take a look at the dairy, because the dairy causes that, because of the inflammation, the sugar and the flour, and honestly, you know what? The SAD diet, the SAD diet, Standard American Diet, or the diet, doesn't matter if it's an American one or a European one. It doesn't matter really where you go. The diets that all government agencies actually tell us to eat are ones that will make us sick, because the diets that the governments give us are actually the diets that the pharmaceutical companies give and the food industry gives the government and tell them to do it. Yeah. They were supposed to take dairy in Canada and United States off 25 years ago, and they didn't do it because every time they want to do it and somebody pushes back, the dairy board actually bribes the government with more money.
Yes.
So anyways, so let's talk about you. So go ahead. What would you like to tell us?
Yes, so I have to say that I move a lot in my life. I'm East European background, and then I moved when I was 25 to a Mediterranean country, and then I came in Canada in '94. So I have a lot of movements and background in my history. And as you mentioned, when I was a child, I ate a lot of dairy products and flour. So I was quite healthy, but probably this is why my problems with my dental problems were
Okay, but
later in my life.
I need to step back for a second though. So when did you start becoming overweight?
I was as a child I was overweight, and then I lost weight when I was around 20, and then I was quite of in good equilibrium after my pregnancies, and so the last after the menopause, of course, I gained like 20 pounds.
Okay, so we
or
need to slow.
over.
Can we slow down
Yeah.
just a little bit? Because it's important that we actually show you something. First of all,
Yeah.
we're not overweight, we're overinflamed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a minute. We're not overinflamed, we're overinfected. Oh, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not a physical issue, it's an emotional issue.
Mm-hmm.
Because you knew 25 years ago what a better diet would be, and you still couldn't change it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so understand. Okay, so if I can't deal with emotions, I got to store them in my body.
Mm-hmm.
If those emotions are negative, and I continually keep having, and if those emotions are negative, that means I have negative beliefs about myself and life.
Mm-hmm.
The more I run a belief, the bigger it begins, the deeper it goes. The bigger I have to become to have luggage racks to store all this emotional dysfunction. On a scale of 0 to 10, and this is where real honesty, I want you to take a breath before you answer this. And you're going to answer it quickly. Take one deep
Yes.
breath, give a sigh, and stay in your conscious mind and be honest. How much do you love yourself?
I love myself. Like I will say 8.
Really? Okay, then
Yes.
if you love yourself 8, then you should be able to drop down to your normal weight within 9 months.
Okay,
That's
that's
it,
perfect.
okay?
That's what
So
I want.
with having the weight that you have, and understand, there's going to be people on here that are carrying extra weight that are going to say that I'm full of it. But
I
the
have to
program
mention
you're
that
running right now, you are running about a 2.
Yeah, I have tried many diets, and unfortunately, why I lose the weight, I gain it back in 1 or 2 years. So I can give you how many diets I have tried to.
No, it doesn't
are
matter because
full-
guess what? I just want to, that part doesn't matter. But what I will tell you is you are trying to use willpower, not the power of love.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to use willpower to lose your weight. And when you use willpower, you will exhaust yourself. You can't keep it up that long. You can't hold it up.
Mm-hmm.
When you use the power of self-love, the weight stays off.
Mm-hmm.
We
Okay.
are subconsciously willing to dishonor ourselves to honor other dysfunctional beliefs that society has given to us, because until you love yourself more, because you don't love yourself at an 8, I'm telling you, you don't. Okay? You want to, which I think is great. You want to. Okay? So we will not dishonor society's beliefs, okay, or family traditions until we can honor ourselves and truly learn how to love ourselves and not feel guilty for it. Let me tell you something. My mother used to make foods that I knew were not good for me, and I would eat them because I miss my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And until you're conscious of why you do what you do, we don't know anything. And as far as I'm concerned, I can tell you're waking up. And I will tell you something right now. People are not awake.
No.
I had a conversation yesterday. I do a practitioner meeting with practitioners all over the world, and I was just telling them that it's very difficult to be around the masses or even people right now. They've even gotten worse, okay? So fear is the big contributor. So, you have to become fearless, but you've got to become centered in yourself to really get to know yourself, right?
You do.
And the reality is, I said, look, right now I've made a decision. I want to be around animals, okay, little children, okay, and only awake people, which is 1 out of 10,000 people, and that's it. Because I can't do it anymore. I just can't do it.
Well, it's not honoring and loving to
No,
yourself.
you can't. I can't do this. I can't
So-
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not better than anyone. I'm not worse than anyone. But tell me that we're awake. If we were awake, we wouldn't be giving away the human spirit right now. And the reality is Carmen, if you start feeding your spirit, so I'm just going to tell you something. Your jaw, your teeth, your hip, your bowel, your toes, it doesn't matter where the problem is. Because until you get rid of the belief that actually caused it, because the invisible creates the physical. It's just coming back. And unless you want to spend lots of money and throw things at it. But there are things we can do that are really going to help your jaw and teeth.
Absolutely.
Within 3 to 6 months, I promise you, they'll be turned right around. And the reality is the more that you love that little child, that beautiful little child inside of you, and you turn your whole life into a sandbox instead of a kitty litter, start really looking at yourself without judgment.
Absolutely.
Without judgment.
Absolutely.
And understand something. Your subconscious just told us that you loved yourself at an 8. I'm just saying that. And I want you to think about this, and then you can come back on my show in 6 weeks, 3 months, and then you can tell me that I was wrong. Okay? So, all right. See, and guess what? You desire 8, and you stay there, because 8's an infinite number, because that's what you are. And you stay there, and you keep telling yourself that you love yourself at an 8. But if you do, that means that you're going to be putting yourself first. That doesn't mean you disown your children or anybody else. It just means for the first time in your life, you are going to really, really put effort into recognizing everything. Your breath, staying connected to your breath, doing your mirror work. Do you do the mirror work yet, Carmen?
I started, yes. I start everything with you, yes.
Okay, but starting is not doing. That's great that you started. But the reality is you've got to put your heart into this. And you know what?
Yes.
Would you like your boys to totally love themselves?
Yes.
Okay, Carmen. So they can't do it until mommy does it. Lead the way.
Yeah.
Lead the way. Okay, so let's talk about, so what's your diet look like right now? Why don't you take over for a while, Tara, and talk about her diet, talk about what she's taking and doing. I'll
All
just
right.
sit back.
All right. Thanks, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi there, Carmen. So tell me about your diet right now. You said you moved to a vegan, but I think you mean
yeah.
plant-based diets. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Okay, so in the morning when I first wake up, I have warm water with lemon and with apple cider.
Okay.
And a little bit of cayenne pepper. So this is like, let's say 8:30.
How much?
And how much water? What's the volume?
It's 1 cup. 1 cup.
Oh, guess what? Now she's going to do what? 1 quart.
Yeah, 1 liter.
Quart.
Yeah.
She's in the States.
She's in Canada.
This is
Oh, in Canada?
the first
Okay.
thing in the morning. I cannot have 1 liter because it's too early. But after 1 hour, I have another cup, and the cleansing.
Okay, Carmen. Carmen,
Yes.
don't say no.
I say yes, Dr. Wolfe.
No, don't say no that you cannot do it. Okay? So
we
when
have
we
to
say
start with 1 liter?
Yeah, like Carmen, like this is, I'm just going to be frank here. This is probably the number one issue that I see in all the consultations I do. People do not drink enough water, and they do not actually start their day with enough water. The way I like to explain it is your body in the morning time is in a detoxification type mode. Do you want to support your detoxification? I liken it to this. If you cook Thanksgiving dinner for your whole family, and then you put like 3 inches of water in the entire sink to wash all the dishes, how clean are those dishes going to get?
Yeah, I understand, but so lately I have, let's say, per day 1 gallon of water, which I think.
Yeah, that's not enough,
right?
Carmen. 1 gallon of water is not enough for you. You should be having about, I would say, 5 to 6 liters.
And guess what? Here's the deal. People think that they're now at the beginning you're not going to be able to do that, okay? But if you weigh 185 pounds, and we know that we should be drinking 3/4 of an ounce
For every pound. For every pound.
And the reason why, it used to be a half an ounce. But it can't be a half an ounce anymore because of what? EMF. Because of blue light. And it's created so much more toxicity. And listen to me. Anybody out there that's a practitioner and you want to tell me that drinking that amount of water is going to burn out your kidneys, you don't even know what you're talking about. Now, if somebody had kidney disease, well, once you have kidney disease, you're pretty well toast.
Yes.
So and most people get kidney disease because they never drank enough
water.
And the reality is it should be structured water. And the reality is we don't want warm water. We want
as hot as you can, like out of the tap or
First
whatever
thing
you're
in the
doing.
morning.
First thing in the morning. And that full quart, that full liter. And what that's going to do is it's going to basically rev up your whole engine, give you the water, the cleansing material to clean, detoxify, to hydrate your cells and set you up for an amazing day.
Hot water cleans better than any other water. So
Yeah.
if you used it in your house and it was hot, it would clean things better.
Back to my turkey dinner analogy, you need water in the sink, and what cleans your turkey Thanksgiving dinner
Cleans
dishes
all
better?
that grease off.
You need hot water. You don't wash dishes in cool water. It doesn't work.
And the reality is when you said, no, I'm going to have a cup an hour later, guess what? All we're going to do is just slow down the progression of you aging and getting old. So the reality is you don't have to change today.
No.
The reality is let's start off with a thermos. Look at this, everybody.
Gentle baby steps. Yeah.
This is almost
and here's mine.
Yeah, and this is my second bottle of hot water in here.
Yeah, and mine's hot water with lemon and cayenne and honey.
And mine is with Tummy Love and Super Cinnamon Essential Oil. So everybody's got their flavor. of
Yeah,
the day.
everyone's got their
So
favorites.
let's just say this, okay? The Chinese have what's called the water cure. When people were so poor that they could not do anything else or buy anything else, they would drink 1 gallon upon rising and cure the most amazing diseases. Understand something. What you think you know, you don't know. And if you think health is what the majority of the population does, and if you're not willing to do things that are different, you'll never ever have different.
No, well, I mean, take a look at what the majority of the population looks like. And do you want to
Boom.
look like them?
Yeah, well,
I don't.
So the reality is, if you're 185 pounds, 70 to 75% of that is water. So think about how much water that is, Carmen. And if you don't drink enough water, when your boys were young, would you bathe them in the same water for a few days?
No.
Well, why would you do that to your beautiful body, Carmen?
That's what you're doing on the
True.
inside.
Absolutely.
So
True.
when you
Yes.
said, no, I don't do that, first of all, that wasn't Carmen, the spirit of Carmen talking. That was Carmen subconscious talking. Because we can never forget this, that your subconscious is going to kill you, Carmen. Because go take your clothes off, look in the mirror and ask yourself if you like it. Take a look at the way you feel today throughout the day and tell me if you like that. And the reality is your subconscious will. Because your subconscious says, I don't like change. Because your subconscious says, I will not do anything, Carmen, for you unless you repeat it 10,000 times. Because my job is to keep you safe. Just because you're overweight, just because you're losing your teeth, okay, because you're so inflamed, and we'll get to that, okay, you're not dead yet, Carmen. But this whole self-love, self-care thing, I've never seen that before, Carmen. It's so foreign, and my job is to keep you safe. Even if you're sick or losing your teeth, it doesn't matter. You're safe. Understand, your subconscious is the dumbest thing in your life or the smartest thing. And that will depend on the beliefs that are in it. And understand something. Most people's beliefs are pretty damn dumb. Don't you think, Carmen, if you look around? Because we've all been created with genius inside of us, but we were programmed since day one. Come on. Tell me that anybody learns anything good in school. Oh my God, we can't eat properly when we get out. We don't know how to love ourselves or others. We can't even do our finances. We are built for dis-ease.
I agree 200%,
Okay.
1,000%. You are completely right.
So
Yes.
now people are saying, oh my God, Daryl, will you just get to it? This has nothing to do with jaw and teeth. And I'm telling you, it's got everything. To do with it.
Because like Dr. Wolfe just said a few minutes ago, if you do not frame and recreate those belief systems to be 100% self-loving and self-supported, you're just going to recreate the dis-ease on the physical level within the body.
I agree.
Carmen, how much do you love yourself?
8. I continue to say 8.
Good girl. and you keep saying it, and then I want you to follow through with an 8, that means 80% of the day you are totally unconditionally loving yourself like you've never loved anyone before. Did you hear what I just said?
I hear it and I will apply it. I will try.
Okay. All right. So, go ahead.
All right, so we got to talking about water. I actually want to pause for just a second before we move on and talk about structured water, because you mentioned that. And structured water is amazing. I actually think it's one of the most important things that you can do. When you structure your water, it actually will erase the memory. So if you're not familiar with Dr. Emoto's work, Dr. Emoto took droplets of water and exposed them to different words, so such as love and hate, and turned them into crystals like snowflakes, and got to look at the designs of them. And the positive, loving words are so beautiful, and the hate words were really not so nice. So check those out, and you can find them on the internet and whatnot. And erasing the memory of the water that comes to you gives you a clean template. And
why would you want to be taking on the frequency of other people?
No.
Now,
exactly.
usually 17 different people have drank the water before nature has restructured it.
Mm-hmm.
So rain is structured water.
Mm-hmm.
Fast-moving water coming down a mountain is structured water.
Absolutely.
Waterfalls is structured water. But you can't get structured water unless it's a structured water unit. Do we have one there?
We do.
Okay.
All right. This is a structured water unit right here.
Yeah.
And so this is the portable unit. And a lot of people ask me how this works. So it is literally like a hole in the top, and it works like a funnel. You can put it under your faucet. If you already have a water system you enjoy, you can just run that water through here when you've already put it through your system.
And I have to tell you something. We're not going to do, we don't want to do like, what do you call that? The home shopping channel?
Yeah.
So we're not here to do that. So please. Okay. But I
No.
will tell you this much, that this is Christmas time, right? And most people that don't even drink will drink at Christmas time. To be social, but also because Uncle Harry's coming and they need a couple of drinks. But the reality is that if you were to take like a bottle of wine, first of all, too, can I say something? If you're not buying organic beer, if you're not buying organic wine, shame on you. Mm-hmm. Wine has 147 cancer-causing chemicals in it if it's not organic. Mm-hmm. And organic wine is basically the same price, okay? Mm-hmm. If you live anywhere like in Kelowna, British Columbia, where we live, okay, there's a beautiful winery, and that's called Summerhill, right?
It is.
Summerhill Winery. And they let all of their wine ferment in a pyramid. Mm-hmm. But the reality is their wine is just beautiful. And it's actually therapeutic and healing. But understand something, that the rest of the stuff is killing everyone, okay? So just know that. And but here's the deal. I just want to cut to the chase. So if you got a quart of wine, or if you had a quart of rye, or if you had a beer, if you took like 1 ounce of a beer and you put it through here and you put that back into your beer, then it's structured. Guess what happens? You can drink the beer, you could drink the wine, you could drink the liquor, and guess what? You will get the buzz without the hangover. Now, if you think so that's why we say it erases things. It'll erase the negative of the toxins, if there's any toxins in it.
Yeah, the energy and the toxins.
And it'll change the energy in it. And guess what? That was created by the creator that created the planet. Mm-hmm. Because the rain comes down and it's toxic. Mm-hmm. And that rain that's toxic, okay, is structured. But why isn't it killing the birds, bees, flowers, trees? Because it's structured. And everything jumps for joy, even if there's just a little bit of water that comes. Yeah. So anyways, just want to talk about structured water. So whether you get a structure unit from us or get it from someone else, it doesn't matter to us. But understand something. If you want to lose weight, if you want to keep your teeth, if you want to hold on to your brain, if you want to bring the inflammation down in your eyes, if you want to get rid of your gout, it's structured water. Then people will say, because everybody's really high on Kangen water, which I'm not against at all. Kangen water is a healing water, but it's still not structured. Because you cannot get structured water from anything that uses electricity. End of story. There you go.
Yeah, and I want to also say about the structured water, potentially the most important benefit of the structured water is it's decreased surface tension. So I liken this to the power of hydration. So when you have an increased hydrogen potential, increased hydration potential, and that basically means that the water that you drink is going to be able to come into your body on the cellular level, which is going to do you the world of good. And I can speak about me to share a little bit about my
But
story.
don't drink water when you're talking.
So for me, I always was quite an avid water drinker. So I'm 120 pounds and I always drank 3 to 4 quarts a day. But I felt like I would drink and then just run to the washroom and drink and run to the washroom, and it didn't go in me. And that all shifted. Like as soon as I started taking the structured water, it made a huge difference.
And here's the other problem. Do you mind?
Yeah, please.
Carmen, here's the other problem that you don't like. You can't be, okay, here's the thing. You can be even underweight and you'll be running to the bathroom. Because people who haven't drank enough water, the bladder is actually shrank, okay? So you got to take it to the gym and you got to work it out. And that's why I say you may not drink all that water right away, but you got to start doing this.
Start increasing
and that's
it.
your goal. So what happens is people say, I don't want to drink all that water, because if I drink that water, I go to the bathroom so many times. And I said, if you're not willing to pay the piper for what you haven't been doing, then you're never going to be well. And you're going to suffer all your life. So you need to get that. Unless you're going to go through this. Well, I don't want to go to the bathroom all the time. But guess what? It will take people even up to 6 months. But they will be able to pee 12 to 15 ounces. But you now can only pee an ounce or two because everything is inflamed and dehydrated in your pelvis, because you've been absorbing your own waste from your large intestine and not bringing in the liquid to hydrate anything. So if you don't hydrate, then you're a little piece of beef jerky. That's it. Okay? All right.
And when you have that increased cellular absorption of the water, what that equates to is all that good organic food that you're putting in the body, all those awesome nutraceuticals with high frequency that are boosting you up, they are going to go into your cells and work for you even more. I'm one that likes maximizing absolutely everything. And so I want to maximize the food I'm taking in and the nutraceuticals I'm taking in. And you do that through structured water.
Yeah. So the same reason is this. If you want to take in any other water, you have to use energy to actually digest it. That's right. So one water droplet has, are you ready for this? One water droplet has 2,500 to 3,000 sheets. They're in sheets. Okay, so when you structure it with what we just showed you, it becomes a choo-choo train. And it goes directly into what's called the aquaporin in every cell. Now, if you don't do that, your body has to take the energy to do it, and people don't have energy anymore. You can't be 185 pounds, Carmen, and be the height you are and have energy. And if you do, it's called anxious energy, which is anxiety, which means you're burning your nervous system out.
So what is the principle of the structured water?
The principle of the structured water is that you're going to erase the memory of it. You're going to actually
lower the surface tension.
Lower the surface tension, which equates in your body to having increased hydration. More of the water you drink is actually going to go in your cells, therefore bringing more nutrition into your cells. In addition to that, Dr. Wolfe touched on the principle of the structured water unit converting toxins into being not so toxic. So all toxins in the world have like a positive electron potential. When you run it through a structure unit, they are transformed into having a negative electron potential, and your body has a negative electron potential. So it transforms it into something that's compatible with your body, and those toxins are going to be basically inert and not function the same way and hurt your body. So it basically, you can take even tap water. Dr. Wolfe uses tap water all the time, all over the world when he travels.
I never buy bottled water.
No, even to my surprise, in like India and China, he doesn't buy bottled water. He uses the structure unit, and he safely...
As long as it doesn't come out yellow or brown, I'm in. Okay? Okay.
And he safely then ingests water all over the world.
And if I can say something, Carmen, and I think this will really help. If you were to take
I have a question. Is that a chemical treatment or a physical treatment?
No, it's just
No.
it's a physical treatment. Just all of the water goes through this unit, and it flows all same directions at the same time, and it doesn't get rid of the toxins, but it doesn't have to. It got rid of the frequency. Even if you filter and you would drink reverse osmosis or distilled water, the frequency of the drugs, the frequency of the chemicals are still in the distilled water.
Yes.
Go figure. And that's why it still causes problems. Let me tell you something. The invisible creates the physical. I don't want to stay on this topic any longer because people can't wrap their head around it. You know what? Is love invisible? Yeah, but you can feel it. Is there a God? Have you ever seen God? No. Well, then he doesn't exist. Well, yes, he does. She does. They do. Whatever that is. And the reality is the invisible, which is your images of yourself in the world, your thoughts create everything. So E equals MC squared. That is the most important equation by Einstein. So energy creates mass. So it's actually energy that creates the matter. So the frequency is more important than the physical. So the invisible is more important than the physical. Now, let's close with it here, and then we can do our own homework because, like I said, we don't want to be on about this too long.
No.
Now, Carmen, if you
Yes,
were to
perfect,
everything that
perfect,
you eat from now on, you chewed it until it was a liquid. And if it was a liquid before you swallowed it, you would turn your, especially if you're on our whole plant-based diet. Everyone, what she's doing is she's doing our whole plant-based Perfect Day diet, which is in the Perfect Day guide if you go into the library. Or you can go into the library and just go to the 4 Pillars guide, and you can see all our 4 pillars: exercise, diet, nutrition, and emotional. It's all there that we outline for you, and you can just go. It's free. Now, here's the deal. When you drink water, if it's structured, the body has doesn't take any energy to have it the best it can be. If you don't chew your food, which most people don't, they take it down in chunks, you don't have a second set of teeth down there. And your enzymes will only digest the surface of the food. But what if you chewed everything down to a liquid? The particles would be so small that the enzymes could get everywhere they needed to. And did you know that if you did that, you can eat 1/3 less the food and you can be twice as healthy? I hope you just got this, because I eat usually only 1 meal a day. 1 meal. Now, I've also worked on my mind, so I don't go around suffering for the world. I don't suffer for everyone. And I definitely, 3, 2, 1, I got this, okay? I stay in the present moment, connected to my breath. I mean, think about how much you worry about your children. Think about how much you worry, or if you watch the news now, if you watch that
I don't.
Well, I know, but understand something. You will know when you are healthy emotionally, because the physical is a component of what you think. Okay? So anyways, let's move on. So you have your jaw and your teeth. Do you want to talk to us about it?
Yes. So after my 2 pregnancies, I had problem with my teeth all my life since I was 7 years old. Even I was like on a regular basis seeing my dentist, but unfortunately, year after year, started to see some, everything related to the.
But I don't want to cut you off, Carmen, but dentists don't keep teeth healthy. They fill cavities.
So it was basically.
I know, but I'm
the
just
diet.
letting you know that. Dentists, no matter how often you go to the dentist, he's not going to keep your teeth healthy. He'll slow things down, but it's not about dentists keeping your teeth healthy.
I realized, Dr. Wolfe, that basically it's my diet that was not very well. And you mentioned a lot of dairy products, and that's probably number one cause. And probably the number one would be the emotion, because all my life I was with up and down with my emotions. And definitely you are 200% right for what exactly was going on. Now I understand, and I absolutely agree with the structured water. So this would be number one thing that I will do after our communication. I will get a unit and to see how this is working.
Okay, so just so everybody knows that if you want to really get a handle on this, go to my A to Z wellness guide in my library. Just click on library on our website and go watch that 2-hour video, okay? And we'll show you how the emotions create everything physical, okay? And they're either going to ruin your day or make your day. They're either going to heal you or they're going to destroy you. And we show how it creates everything from displaced calcium to scar tissue to crystallization to actually rotting tissue in the body. So, and once you watch this, you won't be able to dispute this. You just have to prove it to your subconscious that there's a new thought in town, right? So, and then your teeth got worse and your jaw got worse after each pregnancy because the children that the babies that you were creating, it would take at least one tooth if you didn't have a good diet. If you're not on a really good diet, you're going to lose about one tooth in the way of calcium. Not like one tooth is gone, but in the way of
the
calcium
volume of
your
calcium.
teeth in your jaw. In your teeth,
Right.
you would lose about one tooth worth just from that if you aren't eating a whole plant-based diet and you haven't reduced the inflammation. So, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
So, so I will be very interested in your calcium, ionic calcium products as well.
Okay.
Because I read about, and it's a very interesting product. I realized how much is improving your health, and definitely
Let's talk.
the structure water and
Let's
the
talk about
calcium
some other
ionic,
things first.
Okay.
they are the two of them that I'm very interested. Yeah.
Sure, but what I want to do is I want to show you other things. I don't want to make this about just product, okay? So if you could, can you grab, do we have the silver gel there? Silver bullet gel?
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah, here it is.
So you could actually take like the silver gel. This is, and understand everybody. So I just want you to know that you're off the hook. So every product we talk about, if you want to go get it from someone else or go get one that's similar, you go ahead and do it. Remember something, this show is about teaching you things that we believe are really important, okay? So at the end of it goes, oh yeah, see, he set us up. That's what I usually get on Facebook, right? Oh my God, of course, I knew that was coming. Well, please, cut us some slack. Okay, so now, so the silver gel, okay, it's 20 times stronger than any silver liquid product. So you can actually put this on your toothbrush. Now, you can actually mix the silver gel with even coconut oil, and you could mix it with even some charcoal and some peppermint, and you can make your own, right?
Yeah, you
If
can
want
even
it.
mix it. Some
But-
people mix it with the black gold too that we have.
Yeah, but I tell everyone, I tell everybody to, if they don't do that and they're just using another type of a toothpaste, at least twice a day, okay? Just put a little bit of this on a toothbrush and really get in there, okay, with it. And you can also, if you have a water pick, get a water pick and use hot water and then put about an ounce of silver, of the silver
Silver
bullet
bullet
liquid. We don't
solution.
have that here.
No.
But we have silver bullet solution. It's inexpensive. And you can put that in the water, and then you want a water pick. So that's a couple tips there. Now, also grab the castor oil and grab the Healthy Mouth. Now, everybody knows about coconut oil pulling, but castor oil actually pulls better, okay? The castor oil bean draws better from the tissues than coconut oil, but do whatever you want, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so coconut oil does have an antibacterial, antiviral,
It does.
antifungal attached to it, but this pulls better. So I like this when it comes to doing oil pulling. And when I do oil pulling, I'll do it when I'm in the shower, have a cup in there, because I try to do a couple things at once, right? Okay, but you can do the oil pulling, give it a shot. But what you do is you mix Healthy Mouth essential oil with the castor oil and mix enough that you feel a tingling in your mouth, right? Because now we're pulling and we're disinfecting, okay? And this tastes like mouthwash, kind of, right? What do we? Okay. Okay, so now we can talk about. Let's talk about the Dentagen and Amerigen. You want to do
Sure.
that?
Absolutely.
Oh, and then we'll talk about skin brushing and clapping. Do I have a clapper here?
We do not have one.
Okay. Can you ask them to bring me a clapper, please?
So we have a couple of products from our lineup for calcium ion therapy here. We have Merigen, which is our premium product. It's got the highest potency. And Dentagen, which then specifically is aimed energetically to support dental issues. And so, Carmen, for a situation like this, we would actually recommend a combination of the two. Like, for example, you could take 2 doses of Merigen per day and 1 of Dentagen to help move your condition forward. You're going to get the
and
high...
if it wasn't affordable, then you could do just 2 Dentagen and 1 Merigen,
Exactly.
or you could just do Dentagen. But we're talking about if you want to see performance.
Yes.
You say what you want, and then I'll just fill in the gaps.
Sure.
Okay.
So if you're unfamiliar with the calcium ion therapy, it's really quite an amazing therapy. And this is bioavailable calcium. It is so bioavailable that if you actually pour it into your glass and you forget to drink it, it will evaporate. But what this means is when you take it into your body, it's completely active. It goes into your cells and works right away. And calcium is needed for more than 100,000 different metabolic processes within the body. And this provides it in a very assimilable, ready-to-use form that your body recognizes. So that's really important, number one. Number two.
Can I say something, though, before we go any further?
Sure.
Because I don't want anybody to think that this, again, is the home shopping channel. Because guess what? There isn't another calcium product that you can take
No.
that actually works. We need calcium from our food, okay? That's a biological calcium that we need, okay? We need that calcium, okay? But understand something. Calcium supplements do not work. And I know you don't believe me, but go check it. These are calcium ions, okay? If you saw that the metabolic calcium that are in these products, you'd go, there's hardly anything in there. Well, that's because it's the invisible that creates the physical. Let's establish something right now. When you're younger, you've got human growth hormone, and up until the age of 30, but 40 if you've been looking after yourself. But if you haven't, by the time you're 30, you're not making and breaking bone. You're only breaking bone and not making it anymore. So if you are acidic and you're toxic, then guess what? Your body is continually breaking calcium down from your bones, okay, from your teeth even, and from your jaw, okay, in your case. But it's always being replaced if there is balance. So understand this. So people say osteoporosis, osteopenia and osteoporosis, they used to say it was normal. Well, it is. And even in a healthy life, it's normal. But this is the only product that can completely reverse osteoporosis. I said completely. I said completely. So this product here, the ions are invisible. If it sits in a glass, like you said, for more than 20 minutes, the ions will fly out. Don't believe us, but go in and go to PubMed. Okay, go into PubMed where all scientific articles are, and you'll see that they state in there, okay, that it's not genetics that determine, it's not epigenetics that determine things, it's actually the calcium ions that determine things even more. Okay, so calcium ions do over 100,000 different processes every second of our life. And here's the deal. Wherever the calcium was pulled out of, it's still in your body. You know how you're losing the calcium from your teeth and your jaw? It's still in your body. And the reality is when you take this, it takes that displaced calcium and brings it back to where it was lost. And that's why we can say that if you follow our protocol and you do the other things we're going to teach you here today, you are going to have a completely healed mouth and nothing else will do it. I can tell you that there is not another product that our calcium ion product there is not another one in the world that will do this. So when you start doing this, you will start to see within days to weeks how your teeth are tightening, how the gum disease is starting to reverse, okay? But we're doing other things. We're showing you. And if you do these other things that don't cost anything along with this, we know it's going to happen. Because if you go into the library and go into the calcium ion guide, you will see so many videos that we've done with enough scientific documentation in there. Okay? Go ahead.
And I can actually speak about a client that called in not too long ago. And I might not have it exactly right, but pretty much close. She just went to her dentist after doing this protocol we're just talking about, and her pockets went from 8 millimeters down to 3, and her teeth have really tightened. And so she was just so impressed with what taking the calcium ion therapy had done for her. So it is amazing, and it does work really well, specifically also for dental issues.
How about the hundreds of people, and I will say hundreds of people that come to us where they were going to get bone grafting, okay, and they don't need it because guess what? The human body's amazing. And you know what? In science, they actually said that this could never be done.
Right.
It is
truly.
They said that this could never be invented, that somebody could actually have a product that is unstable enough to put, because you can't have it totally stable. It's got to come into the body, and it's got to be unstable enough to go where it needs to go, but stable enough to get it into a bottle.
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like a gas being put into a liquid so that we can take it in.
Yeah.
And just to really put what typical calcium supplements on the market are actually like, that's about the equivalent of eating a stone, which does not digest and actually really goes against you, because that calcium that you're ingesting, that's a stone, your body's just going to place that calcium into your joints, creating some of these physical blocks that we were just talking about.
So they've done studies on this, and the best so-called calcium products in the world. This is 100 times more effective. I didn't say 10.
100
times. Yeah. So anyways, that's where we are with that. There you go. And you can call about it if you want, but the reality is you can take it every 4 hours. And the thing is that you can take it every 4 hours and just speed the actual process of the healing. See, with other supplementation, you can take so much a day, and any more than that is a waste.
Yes.
Okay? And with this, you would take it with, 1 teaspoon with 16, if you're 150 pounds or over. You take 1 teaspoon with 16 ounces of water, hopefully structured water. If it's not, it's okay. And then what you do is you drink it right away, okay? That's 16 ounces of water. You got to make sure that you drink it a half an hour after you've eaten, okay? There's a gap there. And a half hour before you eat anything else, you give another half hour. So,
and you also wait to make sure you're not drinking anything but water within that half an hour before and after window.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's enough about that. Let's talk about clapping, okay? So, Carmen, do you have a clapper, Carmen?
Not yet, because it was not available, but I just received your email that they are available, so this will be the third one that is on my list, the clapper.
So what I want you to do, even though it's your jaw, I want you to actually clap your vagus nerve, because when you clap your vagus nerve, it puts you into a parasympathetic state of healing. And then I would want you to actually clap your jaw. So I'll do it on this side, okay? So you'll actually clap your neck. And I've said this before, and I don't know when I'm going to show this. Friday we're pretty busy. But I will show people how to do the neck, the face, and the head.
Great.
Okay?
It's so important.
And we're just gonna do that. And I'm gonna do like a full treatment. I'm gonna show you how I break it up, how I do the whole area. And I'll tell you something. Whether you believe this or not, clapping the neck, the face, the head, and also clapping the I won't go into it now, but the inner arm here, okay, it gets rid of heartache, heartbreak. It gets rid of depression, anxiety. I have people that were suicidal, okay, that I'm consulting, and there's a lot of people that call in now that are suicidal because of this whole situation. But the reality is I get them clapping an hour a day, okay, the heart meridian, okay, their chest, their neck, their face, and their head, and it pulls them out of this depression and my life sucks, I want to kill myself. Do you understand? That's right.
It's
okay?
really powerful.
You have no idea. And we're going to be showing all this, and then eventually it'll be made into a master class. And understand, right now our master classes are being accessible, but eventually people will have to pay something to get into them because we put so much money into it. You know, like Sean is a professional videographer, and the reality is just in the A to Z master class, that was a 2-hour video that we made for you to show you how the emotional creates the physical, all the way to why we end up in surgery, why we end up killing ourselves. And that 2-hour video, Sean, how many hours did you put into that?
Good, about 40
40 hours into 2 hours. So understand something. We're creating you masterpieces to actually take you and just say, hey, you got this. All right? So anyways, you're going to start off with your neck. And understand something. You don't stop an area until you feel the tingling and the warmth and the heat. That means you've done something. And then you'll come up and then you can start to do your jaw. And, you know, believe it or not, whatever, you know, I do, like I did it last night again. I do it at least 5 out of 7 nights, 6 out of 7 nights every week, this area. And I'll clap other areas that when they need it. But we'll be showing you in our doc demos, we'll show you how to do some non-surgical work on yourself. We'll show you how to do what we call one-shot therapy on yourself. We're going to teach you all kinds of stuff. So then you're going to come in here and you're really going to work the jaw, Carmen.
So when you're doing this, Carmen, you're
You
actually
can use
bringing...
your hand, but it's really a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. And just to clarify what you're doing with the clapping, you're actually bringing a lot of blood flow, circulation into the area. What does that do? It brings more nutrition. It brings more oxygen, which increases your healing.
And here's the big ticket. Guess what?
Absolutely.
What creates more stem cells than anything else on the planet? The ion calcium therapy we just talked about here. The Merigen. Well, there's 6 different products depending on conditions in the body. People can go look at that. I don't want to talk about that part anymore. But that product creates more stem cells than anything else, except for one thing. When you take that product and you do an advanced water fast, which we're going to be doing as of our kickoff on that is January the 12th, is it? Or the 9th? The 9th. January the 9th, we're going to do an hour-and-a-half show, talk about how to do the perfect day diet, how to prepare, and 2 weeks later, we'll kick off with the advanced water fast for 6 days. It's an advanced water fasting challenge, and we'll show you 4 products that you take for an advanced water fast, because there's an article, and that article can be seen in our 6-day advanced water fasting challenge, that we actually prove that you should never do a water fast unless you're doing our 4 products, right?
Yes.
Because especially the ion calcium, because a lot of people will help to heal their condition, but they pull too much calcium out of their bones and
During the
teeth
fasting.
During the fasting.
Because the fasting, even though it's amazing for you, is a type of a stress for the body. And when you undergo any kind of stress, that's a potential for your body to look for calcium to keep those blood serum levels and ion levels stable. And they, it could pull from the bone. If you provide that calcium through the calcium ion therapy products that we have, that actually initiates the process of going into deeper and deeper stem cell release, autophagy, and supersizes your whole fast.
And when you're doing autophagy, which means you're eating the dead tissue, the tissue the body doesn't want anymore, like cancer cells. And I'm not kidding. Okay, you got to remember something. Remember something. Every place where you have a block or you have a dis-ease, that is the most toxic tissue. That toxins go into your bloodstream, and your bloodstream says, hey, don't you dare drop the pH in my blood too much or this person's going to die. So it's pulling as much calcium as it needs to put into the bloodstream to make sure that it stays at the proper pH. And that's why if you're a toxic little puppy and then you go and do this and you're already inflamed in your brain because of your emotional part and the way you eat, and then when you start to do that, it's too much on the body. It just pulls too much calcium. So this is just a thought. So we're not trying to tell you got to do it, but we have an article, right? And you can read that article in the 6-day advanced water fasting challenge or in the perfect day guide. And you can go into the index and you can actually see it. It says it right there. It says calcium ions and advanced water fasting. Read the article and blow your mind. And then you'll understand, okay, why we do this. Now, when you do that, fasting causes stem cell therapy.
It does.
Okay, and guess what else does? So the ion product we just talked about, right? Does. And then guess what else does? This. Wherever you clap in the body, you are creating stem cells when you clap. So you can use your hand too. It just gets a little bit tiring, right? So then you get neck problems if you have to do it.
Well, you get a little more leverage too. Like you can reach further when you have a clapper.
And make sure, Carmen, when you get this, you really break that thing in, okay? Like really just give it like break it in. Like even just doing this to it, watch. I'll make it. It's completely going to change it. Now watch. See? It's getting a little bit more. My clapper, which is upstairs, I should have that here. I should show you. It's like really flimsy, right? because you really break it in. So you got to really just break that clapper in. And for those of you who haven't seen clapping before, this is not abusive. This is learning how to love yourself and go in and break those blocks. You know, and when you clap, if you want to test yourself, clap for about 5 minutes as hard as you can take it without, you know, driving yourself to the moon. And you'll see that if this only goes red, then we have no lung damage, no heart damage. If this goes light purple, or then we know we've got tissue damage and we've got emotional issues in the tissues. If it goes dark purple, we got lots of issues. If it goes black, then that means you've got tissue disintegration and rotting. But understand something. When we clap, Carmen, understand if you ever see any discoloration, you didn't bruise yourself. That was actually the infected tissue, the infected blood already that's inside of you coming to the surface. So understand that. We're bringing things to the surface so that the body can let go of these things. The more blocks you get rid of, the better your circulation. All right. And the other thing is skin brushing. Believe it or not, just even skin brushing this jaw area, you know, and I like to skin brush like my whole body at least once a week, but you know, I'll skin brush the areas that need it, right? Some people will skin brush every day, and it's a natural skin brush. Well, see, somebody had skin brushed lately. So there you go. What do you think all that dust is around the house, right?
That's all your skin.
That's your skin. So, you know, love the skin you're in, okay? So everything is about detoxification and balance. I think that's good enough. I mean, you know, there are other things, but Carmen, you can call in on that. And the other thing is you can actually take the nebulizer, okay? And you can actually nebulize the SAC, calcium ion product, or you can
look at that.
You can also do silver. But right now, I've got our silver bullet liquid in that. So if you actually take it in through the mouth, what do you think that's going to do? It's going to disinfect, right? Okay. I think we've pretty well talked it over. Carmen, do you have any questions for us?
No, it's pretty clear, and I have exactly a plan. So I'm still on 8, which is infinite, as you said. And thank you so much. It's really enlightening. And thank you, Tara, for all your comments. And I love you guys. It's amazing.
My pleasure.
Just know this, that we welcome your phone calls. And the reality is you know, whether you've gotten a consultation from us or not, right? We do welcome your phone calls. We're old school that way. Understand something. If you're not going to take your life back, you're not going to take your life back. If you want someone else to actually orchestrate your life, and if you think that health is visiting a practitioner, I didn't say doctor, even visiting a practitioner. I mean, you can come to us for treatments. We'll give you a money back guarantee that in the first treatment, we're going to show you that you're going to reverse your condition and that you're not going to surgery. You know, people don't get it. But whether you're talking about the jaw, the hip, the knee, okay, and they tell you you're bone on bone, I call BS. I call BS because the tissues have actually just calcified and crystallized, and we can prove that they're going to grow back. And how about that one? Okay, God created us to create. So why don't we just create an amazing life, okay? And don't forget, everyone, last night was the 12 days of poo. I mean, there's the 12 days of Christmas, and we're in competition with them right now, aren't we?
We are. We're
That's
counting
right.
down with the 12 days of poo.
And today is day 2 of poo. So it comes on at 3 o'clock, and it's only a half an hour. So if you want to find out where the Holy Grail is, okay, it's the 12 days of poo. So, and it's on Facebook, and it's on YouTube, okay? But understand something. After the new year, it will be coming down off of all these platforms.
So it's a limited time. So
yeah, because this is one of our master classes, okay? And what's today? Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah.
Today's Wednesday.
Yeah. So I don't know. We might do another demo, but I doubt it because we're going to be shooting the 4 pillars probably on Friday. So we're actually going to shoot the 4 pillars, which means we're going to shoot what we do on an emotional level in a day, what we do on a nutritional level, what we do on a exercise level, and what we do on with our diet. And we're going to shoot those 4 pillars, and we're going to have those ready for the new year. Right, Sean?
He's nodding.
He's nodding. Okay, Sean's not here. Sean's not here. But I'll tell you something. We're here for you.
Yeah.
We really, truly mean that. God bless, and just know this, okay? The power to heal is inside, okay? And unleash it. 3, 2, 1.
I got this.
And so do you.
You are the power you seek.